What is up, everyone? My name is Lady Morales. It's such a pleasure to have you guys back for another video. I hope everyone is having an amazing kickoff to the holiday season. This is my favorite time of year. I've been looking forward to the holiday season since the last holiday season. So I hope everyone had an amazing Thanksgiving, and I hope everyone right now is thinking about 2021 despite the fiascos. That's an understatement. But despite the craziness that has happened in 2020, I personally do believe, in my humble opinion, that 2020 was a really amazing year for me. And as I'm looking forward to 2021, I can't help but think about the most amazing resources that have really helped me along the way towards my acting career to where I am right now. So in this video, I wanted to create a list of amazing actor resources from the beginner level that I think you should be watching, consuming, or researching to the more advanced level. And again, these are all resources that I personally have either bought, I have read, I have researched, I have used that information, that data, and applied it to my system and to my acting career that I think have really benefited me to where I am today. So without further ado, if you guys are interested in the best recommendations that I personally have for actor resources to have the acting career of your dreams, or to kickstart the acting career of your dreams and to make 2021 the best year for your acting career, then please keep on watching. So keep in mind, I'm going to be starting out with the list of resources from the most beginner level all the way up to the most advanced level, but just keep in mind that you can, of course, get this information at any level of your career. But I just think ideally, when I'm looking at this information objectively from an actor's perspective and where I'm at in my career, I think I rated them on based of when I wish, or what level of my career I wish I would have read this information, or I would have gotten a hold of this information. So I think this first book goes to actors of all levels, and I think it also applies to life, and I really want everyone to get a hold of this book and read this book. This book completely transformed how I think about goals. So the first book that I want to recommend that I think actors of all levels should be reading, or should have the intention to read in 2021, is the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now, what I love about this book, and it's completely like nothing like a self-help book that I've ever read. I love self-help books. It's because it talks about, instead of going for like an overnight success or changing things overnight or cramming everything and trying to be unrealistic about achieving your goals in the shortest time possible, I love how the book explains that it's better to improve by 1% than to overwhelm yourself and have like that burst of motivation for a little bit and then just completely give up because you're tired of it, and you have set yourself up for failure by pretty much cramming yourself with changing all these things or doing all these things and just overwhelming yourself. I love this book because it really does reverse engineer your goals to the smallest little thing that you can do that is going to build up like compound interest, is how the book explains it. Like these little things that you do every single day do build up. I love the saying that says you're the average of your daily habits, or there's a quote that goes along the lines, I can't think of the exact word, but it says something pretty much along the lines of you're the average of your daily habits, like what you're doing every single day is going to determine where you're at in the future. And that is 120% true. I recommend this book for everyone because we all want to be series regulars. We all want to be the next Marvel superhero, but are we day to day? Does our day-to-day tasks and our day-to-day actions and our day-to-day to-dos really reflect that? Are we really ready to be at that level? Are we really embodying a full-time working actor? So I think if you read Atomic Habits by James Clear, it's going to help you get specific about your daily goals. It's going to get specific about your big goal. It's going to help you get specific on the things that you should be doing, even if it's in small little increments, to help you get to where you want to be. And that's why I'm so utterly against like these whole like New Year's resolutions. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. I still vision board every year, but at the end of the day, it's all about the small little things that you do every single day that's going to determine your success. And I have really tried to embody that this year, and I've really tried to focus on my day-to-day habits and where my time is going, because you guys, time is valuable. We're already in December. We made it through, I think, like the worst part of the pandemic, hopefully. Instead of doing that and trying to avoid that, it's better to just redirect our mental space and our mindset to think, okay, well, this is where I want to be, this is how I can break it down, and this is what I can do every single day to get there, and then adjust accordingly. So let me know what you guys think. All right, so now to be more actor specific related content and to go along that route, I'm gonna start with the beginner information that I believe would be best to beginner actors and then make my way up. So the best hands down resource for a brand new actor, for one who's just like, I wanna be an actor, I was trained number 2 in my kindergarten play, like I think this is my calling, I think this is what I want to do, but where do I start? I live in Idaho, I live in Vermont, I live in South Georgia, whatever it is. If you follow this step by step to the T, guys, I promise you, thanks to this resource, thanks to this person, and thanks to this book, I was able to build my acting career and to be in a film with Michael B. Jordan. I mean, hello. You guys, stop what you're doing right now. Actually, no, finish this video and then you can research this person. That's my dog. But I want you guys to go ahead and look up Wendy Elaine Wright. Buy her books. She has so many books. She literally gives you a step by step on how to start from scratch and become an actor. She gives you step by step on what to do when you live in a city outside of LA or New York or Atlanta. And she also tells you how to get an agent, how to get a manager, when to get a manager. Like, she has videos on literally everything. If it were not for this woman, I would not be where I am today, honestly. She literally helped me get from like point A, like 0, like scratch, and then help me build my career along the way. So please guys, do yourself a favor. If you're starting from scratch, if you are a beginner actor, no acting experience, maybe a little bit of theater, haven't done theater since high school or since kindergarten or whatever, please look up Wendy Elaine Wright. You can thank me later. I love peppermint bark if you want to send me a thank you gift. But no, seriously, Wendy Elaine Wright, for all actors who are beginners, need to start with Wendy Elaine Wright. Okay, so now you've read Wendy Elaine Wright's books, awesome. You're starting to get the ball rolling. You're probably doing some theater. You're maybe like just following her step by step and doing the best you can. So now another amazing resource that I would recommend for beginners as well, and a little bit of intermediate, is Kurt Yu's YouTube channel. What I love about Kurt Yu's YouTube channel, I love how it talks about like the business of acting and then the lighting, what you should do in an audition, maybe when you start getting auditions for independent films, or you start building that footage and then you start submitting to agencies. Whatever the case is, Kurt Yu's is a really great resource to have if you're a beginner to maybe an intermediate level and you want to get information about auditioning, what it's like on set, the Atlanta market specifically. He lives in my market, he lives in Atlanta. I haven't come across him, but I have heard of him. He's an amazing resource for that. I would also recommend him if you're trying to like look at his technique and like the professional actor process, just to get a different perspective about the Atlanta film community, because it is a community down here and a lot of people are moving down here. But I would recommend Kurt Yu's channel once you read Wendy Elaine Wright's information and her resources, and you want to get a little bit more information about the audition process, like putting it on its feet and his experience. And he's been in the industry for a very long time, so I think he would be a very valuable resource. He gets very technical as well, talks about audio, talks about lighting, talks about like how a little bit about the contracts, the SAGAFTRA contract, and all of that great stuff. So check out Kurt Yu's YouTube channel, especially if you're thinking about moving to Atlanta. Another awesome resource that I would give you as well is the acting podcast. Now we're going to be transitioning into the intermediate level kind of stuff. And an amazing resource that I would give you guys is Risa Barmon Garcia's amazing podcast. It's also known as the Acting Podcast. And she is a casting director, very well known, a respected casting director from Los Angeles. She also teaches a lot of actors. She has acting classes, audition workshops, and things like that. She teaches in Atlanta, LA, and New York, with her home base being in LA last time I checked. So she is an incredible resource to have if you want to get a casting director's perspective of what they're looking for, what it takes to book, really like the fundamentals and the logistics about auditioning and the auditioning process. What's going on in the mind of a casting director that I think is super important for all actors to understand is from the casting director perspective, it's not about what they want, but how you're going to present that story, how you're going to embody and convey that message that the storytellers are trying to put out into the world. So So I really love her podcast because she touches on everything from how to not be a starving artist, to what she's looking for in the room, to how to build that confidence, to the amazing resources. She interviews other casting directors, which I think is incredible. She interviews a lot of working actors. So definitely check out the Acting Podcast. It is available wherever podcasts are available. She's incredible. Another amazing casting director that I think you guys should be very familiar with, especially if you're moving to the Atlanta market, is Raven Drummer. And I love Raven Drummer because she is the casting director for Tyler Perry. She does pretty much all of the casting for his shows and his movies and everything. And she's been in the market forever. She started out as an intern and then she built her way up, and she has a thing or two to teach about the casting process and acting and what she's looking for. She gives a lot of information on the business side, on the art side, or the artistic creative side, and she's just an incredible person. She's very sweet, she's very humble, she's super nice, and I would highly recommend that you follow her on Instagram. She does this thing on Mondays where actors will email her questions and then she'll read off a question and try to answer to the best of her ability from her expertise, from her filter of her perspective of being a casting director. So I highly recommend, if you guys are trying to get a little bit more information about the Atlanta market, that you look her up on Instagram. I'm pretty sure I'll post her handle somewhere around here, but she's an incredible resource to have. She's been in the business for a very long time. She's very well respected here in the Atlanta community, and she is awesome. That's all I gotta say. She's awesome. And again, once you have representation and you're looking into getting into film and all of that great stuff, and you're looking to get to know these casting directors, again, Raven Drummer is your girl. Okay, so an incredible resource that I love, that I kind of went back to basics in a way, and I just kind of was re-inspired after reading her book, and that is the Amy Lennon Technique by Amy Lennon. I've known about Amy Lennon for years. I did her workshop about 3 years ago when I went to LA to visit my family, and she is absolutely incredible. She's awesome. She is just an all-around amazing human being, but most importantly, she's tough on you, but she's tough love. And her book is literally a step-by-step to booking, to going deeper, to really digging deep and getting you into the 1% of actors who book. This book I recommend to people who are intermediate to advanced, after you've already had a very solid foundation, such as Meisner, Uta Hagen, or Chubbuck, or whatever technique that you want to create and whatever you want to put in your toolbox. Once you have a solid foundation and you're ready to start booking, or maybe you're not booking as much as you think you would, you deserve to book, Amy Lennon's technique is amazing. It's like your answers to everything, and I love her technique. I highly 120% recommend that Amy Lennon, well, first off, you should definitely do a workshop. If Amy Lennon is doing an intensive or workshop, definitely sign up and do her workshop, but read her book. Like, I'll even just be working out or driving and I'll be listening to her book. It's absolutely incredible. Her process is a hard process, I will say that. It is a hard process, but it's really about going deep and layering and layers and more layers and more layers. Like, right when you think you found a layer, there's another layer. Right when you find that one, then there's another one. If you're really serious about booking, if you're really serious about leveling up in your acting career, no matter where you're at in your acting career, and you have an amazing solid foundation that you think that you can build on, Amy Lennon's technique is absolutely incredible, and I 120% recommend her book. Another awesome book that I highly recommend, and this is again for more intermediate, maybe advanced people as well, is the book Save the Cat. Now, Save the Cat is a screenwriting book. Blake Snyder, who is the author of that book, has wrote a lot of incredible, awesome screenplays in Hollywood and a lot of blockbuster films. And his book, why I think it's important for actors to know, especially once you start going up the ladder, or even co-stars, even like when you're going out for, like, not basic, but like when you're going out for like co-stars under 5 or anything, is actors tend to make it all about themselves in the audition. And, oh, what is this casting director looking for? What is this casting director looking for? How do I fit in this movie or in this TV show or whatever the case may be? It's not about us, guys. Unless you're the series regular, it's not about us. A lot of times we're here to support the leads. We're here to move the story along for the leads, but it's not about us. It really helps you to get back to, what is the story about? Where do I fit? And how can I, through my filter, help move this story along? Why am I in this script? And I think Amy Lennon's technique also touches on that a lot, actually, very extensively. But I think Save the Cat is really helping you shift your perspective to making sure it's about the story, not about you. And it'll help you, or put the pieces together in the puzzle and really understand, this is what I'm auditioning for, this is my script, or these are my sides, where are we at, what page number is this is the climax, whatever it is. Save the Cat is really going to help you understand the storytelling side of acting. It's going to help you understand the storytelling process, which is why we actors exist, is to tell stories. It's about the story. It's not about the actor. It's not about Lady, the amazing actress. It's about giving us and lending them our filter of our perspectives and our background and experiences into these roles, into this script, into these people that we're trying to bring to life. That is why we are actors, because we are telling stories. Another amazing resource that I love this woman to death, and I think everybody should be listening to her podcast. Specifically more, I think her podcast may attribute a lot to the more advanced actors, but she talks about topics from the beginner level all the way to the advanced. And so the only reason why I'm saying that is because she touches a lot on like the SAG contracts and all of the logistics about that. But if you aren't even at that level, I still 120% recommend the podcast Audrey Helps Actors. She has coached me a couple of times. She's absolutely incredible. I can 120% believe or attest that she knows exactly what she's talking about. Who doesn't think that Audrey Moore doesn't know what she's talking about? She's been a series regular multiple times. She knows what she's doing. She's been in LA for the longest. She's done it all, guys. She has done it all. She's booked commercials, national commercials. She talks about the business of acting, and I'm so 120% grateful that I've come across her podcast. She has literally saved my life or saved my acting career so many times, and I attribute my success, a lot of it, to, especially to leveling up, to Audrey Helps Actors, to Audrey Moore. She's 120% amazing. She talks about SAG contracts. She talks about agents getting representation, the LA market, the New York market. She talks about smaller markets. She talks about marketing as an actor. She talks about social media. She is the best resource for working actors, or if you want to be a working actor. I highly recommend that you listen to Audrey Helps Actors, start from the beginning and then go through it all the way up, and then once you're done, then start it all over. She's absolutely incredible, and I love you, Audrey, if you're watching this. She's amazing. Go listen to her information. Follow her on Instagram. She's awesome. Last but certainly not least, this is for my more advanced actors who are working or who are about to join the union, who have already built up their credits, built up the reel, got their materials and information together. The SAGAFTRA podcast. You guys, you have to know the union. If you want to become a working professional actor, you have to know SAGAFTRA. You have to know the contract. You have to know the unions. You have to know the rates. You have to know the logistics. You have to know, like, at what level do you get a honey wagon? At what level do you get this? What overtime? You have to know the union. You have to know the union. You have to know the contract. You have to know it all. And most importantly, guys, you have to know what your union is up to, and the SAG-AFTRA podcast does an amazing job in keeping you updated and letting you know of the changes, letting you know clarity with contracts and all of that amazing, great stuff. Definitely listen to the SAG-AFTRA Union podcast. I think it's absolutely great. It's a really great information to have if you're already a union or about to be a union member. I think to get more up-to-date or get the most up-to-date information about the union, you would have to definitely listen to your fellow SAG-AFTRA people to see what's going on. Okay, so I've given you guys a list of the best resources for actors of all levels. Now, if you guys are prepping to goal set for 2021 and you're trying to figure out, like, okay, well, what would be the best techniques? What would be the best habits? Where do I start? How do I know what even goals do I want? That video will be coming up for you. But until then, I recommend that you guys watch these two videos over here. And as always, you guys have an amazing, awesome, wonderful week, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.